Welcome, one and all, to another special edition of SoulSym Sideshow. As usual, I am your host, Soulsym Mirak, and with us this evening is Mojo.
How's everybody doing today?
Um, we haven't seen much of Mojo because he's always behind the scenes making sure things go according to plan. Um, and this special sideshow is not much different. Um, as there were plans um, for funds that were implemented, or rather, uh, seeded by Wandox and Zevrel. But um, as those of you who have kept up with the show have seen, um, Zevrel has left the city, and Wandox has stepped into the conflict with him as well, uh, outside of Diormana and the lower in the city state as well, leaving Avril and Mojo to pick up and organize the pieces of the aftermath of uh, the aspects entering into Urumshar. Um, so, uh, without further ado, I will set the stage as um, as Mojo and Avril are sitting in a boardroom of sorts. Um, excuse me, across from the city planner and zoning official of um, of, of overneath um, the lower state, um, which is Diormana, Diordessa, Diortiro, and the surrounding boroughs, as it were. Um, and there has been uh, a great deal of litigating and negotiating, um, the amount of money that has been thrown uh, towards their office without a lot of direction beyond fix the lower income areas. So um, Mojo and Avril sit on the left side of the boardroom, and uh, at the head sits uh, the zoning director. And he says he begins with, or rather, he continues with, to to be clear, or to review our uh, our negotiations to present. As far as housing infrastructure and job creation and employment, we are allocating $4 billion immediately to the construction of affordable and resilient housing, um, ensuring that the homeless population has uh, adequate protection from the streets, as well as the other factors that plague the lower city, uh, and a $1 billion reserve fund for um, businesses to encourage um, the employment of the homeless, or the unemployed, as well as um, contracts to restore, um, or rather to train these individuals in how to actively participate or to hold jobs that would serve to better their community. Um, from a health standpoint, um, there are clinics that need retrofitting, and also uh, drug recovery programs that have been underfunded and underutilized in recent years. that could benefit from a influx of funding, and our security division um, could use better equipment and more manpower to uh, discourage additional criminal elements from filling the void left by the bloody clouds. Um, we would ask for 1 billion to retrofit health and community services, and another another 500 million uh, to install surveillance systems, as well as improve security for existing businesses, uh, to prevent theft, larceny, and other criminal activity from being able to uh, flourish in the lower city. Um, what mm, uh, what amount of the remaining of the remaining 6 billion gold would you be willing to allocate to health and community, as well as uh, security integration? The ask is for 1 billion for medical, and 500,000 for smart surveillance, but sorry, 500,000,000 for for smart surveillance, but um, the final contribution or designation is entirely up to you, sir, as the acting representative of Duran Industries and also the Church of Loving Chains donation fund.
I feel just going with like correct me if I'm wrong, but like that area's been pretty much decimated, right?
It is in disrepair, yes.
It's that the health and welfare fund is going to need to be substantial. Like I would even be willing to like have that as an like even more like an open ended thing
Mhm.
to because it's not going to be quick. This isn't going to be something that's going to just the money's there. It's just they're going to need help. Security is going to be a thing, but it also doesn't. It also shouldn't feel like a punishment to them
That's fair.
because
So, um, so would you say 1 billion to start, and uh, a discretionary fund of say 1.5 to allocate towards additional resources as they become necessary?
yes. And also, like, is there a fund for? I know you said to train them. We do need a fund. Like, a lot of these people have kids.
Childcare. Okay, understood.
Yes,
Um, yes, we can um, ensure that there is a childcare program um, that can be funded with the remaining um, now 3 billion. Um, if the ask for security upgrades and digital infrastructure are also acceptable at the $500 million mark.
yes. Okay, and for security, and like, are all of these things going to be run by one person, or is there going to be different heads of these community, like different sections?
Well, so that would be entirely up to uh, your discretion. If you feel that we should have well, like there are committees for each of these divisions already, but if you would like to appoint someone as the primary uh, decision maker, we we can hold elections or draw up candidates to be reviewed for selection.
I think at this point, like I'm just gonna kind of look to Avro and be like, I'm 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 concerned about putting too much power into one person because while yes we are royalty, we also know some assholes who will absolutely go from I have nothing to I have everything and kind of try to take it, hold it, and not do what they're supposed to do. But comedies do the same. Is there like
Um, National intelligence can actually commit sector. We can commission a new sector of OPM to, uh, I guess, surveil and police the committees and ensure that they are operating according with the plans that are being pinned today. Um, Given that OPM operates, uh, given that OPM operates directly under my command, um, and I have no desire to misappropriate funds. Um, if you're okay with that, nephew, I would. Um, or, I'm sorry, if you're okay with that, um, Prince Mojo, then I would commission that regulatory committee, regulatory division over the uh, rehabilitation program.
yeah that sounds nice. And like I said, we've talked about childcare. You guys have a plan to, I guess, incentivize the remaining areas to hire some of these people. And we got, you say, healthcare, childcare. You guys want security, which I'm okay with. I'm fine with that. We just also need to make sure that the right people are doing this. The goal is to make this situation as bearable as possible, not kick somebody because they're desperate and looking for food.
Yes, this is uh, perfectly agreeable for me. I will have um, I will have OPM. Well, I will vet personally the candidates put forward by the committee before we finalize before we send any lists for finalization um, to use Everil and Wandox, considering that I would really appreciate their input on this matter as well. Though I do want to very obviously thank you for being here when they chose not to be. Um,
Um, aspects. We got to be anywhere and everywhere.
yes, they do. Um, Hold on. Do you know where Zevril and the others are right now? He's calling me for some reason.
They left my range. What I want a few hours ago.
They left your range, meaning
Yeah.
they left the city.
hmm But it's all of them, so like I imagine that they're going to be fine.
Okay, well, can you do me a favor? And you have a means of getting a
Yeah.
status report from them, yes?
Yeah. Kryn and your favorite toy.
Okay. Um. Uh. I asked the committee to give myself and Prince Mojo a few moments to address a issue that has begun to rear its head. Um. Give us just one moment. Um. Mojo, reach out to Crane and get a status report. Ask him what is going on.
All right. I think you just kind of see Mojo sit there, and the look on his face goes from like, "Oh yeah, they got this," to kind of exasperated.
That
I was like, he's panicking, like full blown panicking.
panicking
Like
why?
like his only words were, "Come get me."
Hmm. Okay. Well, uh, OPM says that the dog is still at Durin Estates, so that means they must have driven out of the city, probably headed into tomorrow's grave. Um,
You're breaking up.
I'm sorry. It's likely that they have driven out of the city, and if Kryn is not giving any details, I am rather concerned. Um,
It, wait, hold up. It's Renton, some guy named Renegar. He's beaten Kryn twice, and now that like
Rentagar. Ooh. Okay. I would like to ask that this meeting be placed on hold. There is an emergency that we must tend to. Um, Mojo, you need to get to them right now because if what I know of Rentagar is true, if Kryn is not acting, they're all going to die. Um, are you? You said they're outside of your range. That uh, okay. I have no idea where they could. Well, I have a solid idea where they could be, but even in that location, there's a lot of places where they could actually be. Um, Wandox has a teleporter, correct?
I believe I heard him. Well, not tell me. Like he showed Kryn. Yeah, yeah, he has one.
Okay. Um, and I'm presuming that the rooted location is in his church, Loving Chain.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, that place gives me the creeps though.
That's understandable. It's a giant spider monster
Yeah.
masquerading as a church. So, um, um, okay. So this is what I can do, and uh, Avril is visibly stressed. She kind of has her face in her hands. She's massaging her sinuses as well as her temples and resting her fingers on her forehead. Um,
I'm gonna ask this. Like, is this a like I get to take full restraints off and let loose kind of
I would
moment?
advise you to crash out on site, sir.
Okay, okay.
Um, rent a
Every time
guard.
I leave them, they run into something.
Yeah, you know, I asked them to team build, to work on their communication skills, and it seems like they're just doing what they wish.
Yeah. I mean, considering that they didn't tell me they were leaving.
Yeah, definitely seems that way. And I imagine you've been telling the guilds that they don't need to worry about them, yes?
Yeah, I've been somewhat sending reports. Like they haven't been super frequent. Like they're not daily reports, but I do kind of sum it up. It was almost time for another one before they got a little worried.
I would uh, send a report immediately and don't do them any favors. Understand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Be prepared for teleportation. I'm sending you to the Church of Loving Chain now.
Righty. Okay.
Um, Mistress, Mistress Avril, Prince Mojo, just before you go, please, just one last thing. Not now. If we take any more time on this bureaucracy, we will have a major problem on our hands. I have to send him away. Anything else, I will handle myself. Understood? Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is perfectly acceptable. Perfectly acceptable. We will start. Yes, yes. You go get the candidates ready, and give me the dossiers so that I can start my investigation process. Understood, Mojo?
Yeah, it would probably be around this time.
Yeah.
Mojo's whole demeanor changes. He's just like, "Yeah, we gotta go." Like the gravity of the entire room kind of doubles. Like he's pissed now.
What now?
I was just like, "Maha just died. We gotta go."
And when you say that Maha just died, you see Avril's eyes widen and her pupils slit. She goes part dragon in the face.
Yeah,
Um,
like I'm at like I've grabbed her and I've already started zipping us
okay,
towards the church.
I'll get us there faster. And she, claps her hands together as you pop out of the boardroom um, into the middle of the street, 7 miles out. She says, "Going this way will take us entirely too much time. If Maha has already fallen,
Yeah,
and
I'm just gonna look at her and just be like, the message I got back was just I am pissed.
understood. Um, so you boop to the Church of Loving Chain, and Uh, grab that, and then we hit this. Um, and when you uh, when you arrive um, in the main cathedral, you are greeted by um, the three sisters, um, Yinvela, Vanesh, and Zarve. Uh, and Yinvela speaks to you first, and she says, "Um, Lady Avril, what are you doing here? You Our church gives you the creeps last I remember. And is that is that the Prince of Korandra with you?
Just he's like space. Wandox need to get to him.
Oh, yes, his chambers are just out these doors to your right. Um and down the hall. You literally can't miss it.
Just
It's very eerie.
yeah, like yeah, I'm storming off, but there's a look, and there's also just like it gets just like if what I think happened, I'll be back, and he just continues towards the teleporter.
Understood. Um yeah. That will be where we pause this at. And um you should be able to like you can get to Wandox's room within about a round or two. Um, and as he said, the teleporter is in his personal chambers. Um, um, if you enjoyed this particular sideshow, please um, consider dropping a like, um, hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and pressing that bell notification so you get notified anytime we do anything here on the channel. Um, uh, this has been another edition of SoulSym Sideshow. I have been your host, Soulsym Mirak. With us this evening was Mojo.
Have a good evening, everyone.
Um, and please be sure to return for episode 13 of Aspects and Envoys on Friday, November 1st. So until then, until next time, stay safe, stay blessed, and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.